Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends we haven't yet met. Welcome to our One Spirit family. Welcome to people for whom this is the very first One Spirit experience. We're so looking forward to sharing this enthusiastically. I'm Reverend Josh Ellis. I'm delighted that we're doing this together as a threesome with Reverend Lynn Manuel and Reverend Susie Nason. We were in the same class at One Spirit, the class of 2006. We were in the same study group. We have remained friends ever since then. So the date of our friendship starting is September of 2004. Why should I explain what enthusiasm is if I can simply show you? I'd like to introduce you to 3-year-old Jonathan, who was introduced to me about a month ago by Reverend Diane Burke when she was doing her weekend on joy. I love Jonathan. The video is about a minute long. I'll see you at the other end of the video. I hope he leaves you with a great smile. So we go from 3-year-old Jonathan to a quote from 94-year-old Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity. Charles Fillmore said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do all the things that need to be done by me today." Right on. And our last quote of this little section will be something that bridges the youth and older age, which is from Aldous Huxley, who said, "The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age." So, onward. So how did this gathering about enthusiasm come to be? It started at a session of my Musar group about 2 or 3 months ago. And Musar is a spiritual practice within Judaism that goes and looks at all our characteristics that can lead to an ethical life. Basically, it's how to become a mensch. And if you don't know what mensch means, it's like a good character. So every period, we work through a rotating series of character traits like patience and generosity and order. And one period was on enthusiasm. And there we were in this Musar group, which meets now via Zoom, of course. And I looked at my screen and I realized everybody in the group was smiling. So just talking about enthusiasm makes people enthusiastic. I thought, wow, what a wonderful thing to talk about. So I spoke to Susie and Lynn the next day and said, hey, how about doing a gathering about enthusiasm? And guess what? They were enthusiastic. So here we are. One thing about Musar, which really surprises me, is its tiny brief history. It started 1,100 years ago. It almost died off during World War II because all the practitioners who were in Europe at the time were killed during the Holocaust. And then about 15 to 20 years ago, a new Musar movement began in the United States, and it has caught on like wildfire. Neat to find out that when you're going through these character traits, it resembles almost word for word something that's in the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. He had a daily virtue practice that he did every day. Now, within Musar, it isn't that you just study the trait, but you find out the balance of it. You can't be too much of something or too little. The curriculum is your own. You have to find out where you stand in it. So it's not being generous. It's can you be overly generous? Yes. Can you be miserly and not generous? Yes. So you have to just find out on this sliding scale what works for you. Musar does not tell you. The word enthusiasm comes from a Greek word that means divinely inspired or God within or the direct path. Alan Marinus, who started the Musar Institute, who is my teacher and my friend, described it as awakened energy. Not too much energy, not too little energy, finding the balance. So there's 3 steps to enthusiasm, okay? There's the enthusiasm when you're starting a new project. This is the easy one. Everyone encourages you. You feel good about it. The potential is there, and the potential just wakens you up and makes you want to start. Then there's the keep going enthusiasm. That's when you're in the middle of a project and you haven't really found the solution yet, or you haven't found the end result yet. And I thought, this must have been the way the people who were trying to come up with a vaccine for COVID were. I mean, they had to stay enthusiastic to keep the project going. And isn't it a miracle they found a solution with a vaccine within the first year? And it was from lab to shoulders, all happening in a year. So that was keep going enthusiasm. And then there's going across the finish line where you just go, yes, and people congratulate you again. Again, that's an easier enthusiasm. So what does enthusiasm have to do with this particular time of year, and very specifically, January 13th, 2022? I chose this very specific date because this coming Sunday at sunset begins the Jewish holiday of Tu Bishvat. I have to tell you that not many Jews practice it. Not many Jews have heard of it, more than of Musar, but it's not like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover. It's a little more esoteric. It is, in fact, the birthday or the anniversary of trees. So, hence, we are in the middle of winter. Now, to give you a little perspective, I just want to put one image up on the screen. It is the wind chill factor at 4 o'clock in the morning, this past Tuesday, okay? Okay, this is okay. Of course, I'm New York centric, but let's face it. I mean, Duluth was minus 18. So -1 already wasn't so bad. And if you were lucky enough to live in Memphis, it probably felt like, well, spring. But, and my friends in California and Florida were quick to tell me how warm it is there. But let's go on the premise that in two places we're going to talk about. That's it. We don't need this. We don't need the wind chill anymore. Thank you. It is the day, traditionally speaking, when Jews believe that this is the first day when nature calls out to the sap within trees and says to the sap, wake up, get ready for spring. It's going to be coming soon, and you better wake up to get that sap up the tree. Now, we have no evidence of it happening on the ground. Okay, the trees are bare, the ground is hard. It doesn't look like there's spring anywhere to be found. And right now we're in the midst of two winters. There's the biological winter that we're going through, and then there's the winter of COVID, which seems like a very, very long winter, and we really don't know when it's going to end. So let's find a way to feel enthusiastic while it's happening, not when it's over, but now. The point is having enthusiasm within the problem. Now, I have one small ritual that I want to tell you about that I do in the middle of winter. It's very easy to do. It can be done anywhere, but you need to understand one word, and that word is minion, okay? Jews believe that to pray together, you must have at least 10 people over the age of 13 who are there to be together, which allows you to pray out loud. What surprised me is that the idea of minions had been part of Judaism for 4,000 years. And yet, in the past 2 years, there has been a variation for the first time since, okay, well, it's been 4,172 years, and they finally made a change in minions, which is the first virtual minions. Okay, so you don't need 10 Jews in the same room. You just need 10 Jews in the same virtual room. Okay, so now you know what a minion is. Okay, this is the ritual and my variation on it. The ritual is to go outside and to find 10 trees that you can look at all at the same time. And let that be your minion, and let you be in communication with those trees. They have something to share with you. I wanted to make a slight variation on it. I go outside and find 9 trees, and I decide that I want to be the 10th. So we are in a group together of 10, and in silence, wow, do they have a lot to tell us? So enjoy a tree, enjoy 9 trees, enjoy 10 trees. And with that, I pass the baton to Reverend Lynn Manuel. Thank you. See you later.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Josh. That was wonderful. Can't wait to get out and stand with my trees. So the late, great Betty White had a quote in her book saying, "Everyone needs passion. That's what keeps life interesting. If you live without passion, you can go through life without leaving any footprints." So why do I quote this when the word enthusiasm is not even mentioned? Well, it's because sometimes passion and enthusiasm are buddies in the path we make those footprints on. That was my case. So before I lead a meditation on enthusiasm, I'm going to share something that ignites my soul and which is also my passion, theater. So when I was in grade school at about age 8, we had campfire girls. Now, those who know me well know that I could not be less enthusiastic about campfires. I mean, I love looking at nature, but living in it, not so much. However, they gave badges, and the idea was to get as many as possible. So after lacking enthusiasm for things like sewing, I saw one could get a badge for drama. And there happened to be a children's theater near me in Park Forest, Illinois. So the group performed in an auditorium that was in a high school, and it looked so large to me. It looked like Radio City, and it had real dressing rooms with lights around the mirrors. And I was in Hansel and Gretel as a friend named Helga, who was not in the book. And there was a part where I was to dance like a dancing bear. And that was my biggest contribution to the production. Well, on the day of the show, they had strewn plastic grapes all over the stage. And when I went to turn around, I fell on my behind, and laughter and applause ensued. And I knew at that moment that this is what I wanted to do always. And I have. Enthusiasm doesn't have to be a life-changing moment. It can be anything that inspires you in any number of ways. There may be some of you for whom the campfire girls brought a great love of pioneering. But I'd like to now lead a meditation in which we will also have 3 minutes where we will be sitting in silence. For this meditation, I invite you to close your eyes or to fix on something beautiful near you. Take a deep breath and settle into your heart. Hear, if you can, or feel its beats. And now, see a plain white box in which you keep your very most exciting memories and dearest times. Please open the box and look inside. There may be one special thing that makes your heart beat faster, or it might be several. You may have to sort to find a thing that enlightens enthusiasm. Like in Peter Pan, Michael tries several things in order to be able to fly. Candy doesn't quite create the enthusiasm. He needs to fly up, but Christmas does. So now I'd like to take the 3 minutes and sort through your box, look through your homes, find anything that delights and enthuses you, knowing that it's always there. Take a deep breath and go within. Once you feel the pure joy of engaging with your personal spark enthusiasm, hold it in your heart. Let a smile come to you. Laugh, sing, dance if you want. Just know that this is always there. And that whenever we come into a time that is difficult, we can always reach within and reignite our enthusiasm. We also never stop adding to our box of enthusiasm. We keep creating new, exciting opportunities when we're open to new things. So know that each day we can find something to bring a smile to our faces in our work, family, friends, associates, all relationships and activities. These things are the roots that blossom our tree, the steps that create footprints in our lives. So we can leave the box open, but we can return to our current space. Opening our eyes, taking it in, knowing that that box is always there as a resource to light the way when we need. So we can uncurb our enthusiasm whenever we need. And now I would like to introduce the lovely Reverend Susie Nason, who will take us on to our next step.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Josh, for bringing so much enthusiasm to this gathering. Little personal aside that many of you don't know is that we sort of had a heart-stopping moment while we were preparing when we found out that Lynn had COVID. As you can see, she's doing remarkably well. I wonder how much her faith and her enthusiasm carried her through. And then she broke her arm. So we're so glad that you're here and able to lead us in that amazing meditation. And I'm so pleased to see each and every one of you tonight. It was so exciting. I was so enthusiastic to see familiar faces and see some new faces. I want to share with you that this morning I started my day with a Thich Nhat Hanh meditation. Waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live fully in each moment and to look at all beginnings with eyes of compassion. And now here we are, spending this hour fully engaged in the subject of enthusiasm. And I really enjoyed watching your faces as Jonathan conducted his orchestra, especially as he started rolling. And I really appreciated, I'm assuming it was his parents or maybe his grandparents' enthusiasm, laughing and clapping for him at the end. We're about to begin our interactive portion of our evening. And here's our opportunity to share with each other what we're enthusiastic about. And hopefully when Lynn led us in that meditation, maybe you actually do have a box of memories, or maybe it's stimulated to think about something. You'll have about 5 minutes to look around your surroundings and find something that you're enthusiastic about that you'd like to share with us, and a bit of a story about why you are enthusiastic about it. So it might be something that came up in the meditation. It might be a book, a piece of artwork, a photo that brings back a memory or ignites your imagination. Maybe it's a gift you received that sparks joy and enthusiasm whenever you see it or use it. It could be a particular piece of clothing that energizes your enthusiasm for the occasion you've chosen to wear it for. Perhaps it's something from your travels near or far, when we could travel. Or perhaps you'll take this time to write a poem, a haiku, a few lyrics of a song, choreograph a dance and do it for us. Anything that will convey your enthusiasm to our gathering when it's your turn to share, should you choose to have that turn. As always, participation is voluntary. There's no pressure to participate. Feel free to turn off your camera or your mic. Perhaps you'll join in if spirit moves you as you hear other people's shares. Very much looking forward to hearing and seeing your shares. You can even say, I'm super enthusiastic about this interactive time together. I'll let you know when you have a minute or so left before we begin our shares. Jack and I need to decide if we're going to do just the big room or do breakout rooms. I'm leaning towards the big room. I'm going to check in with Jack, Lynn, and Josh. What do you think? let's stay all together. Yeah, I'm seeing nods. So let's do that. While you are thinking about what you might want to share, you'll see some quotes and some images. So on your mark, get set, and uncurb your enthusiasm. See you in 5 minutes. So it looks like you have about 30 seconds left. And then we'll come together, and I can't wait to hear your enthusiastic shares. So who's ready?
All right, Susie, I see you.
Thank you. Thanks for this session. What makes me feel more alive and happier is when I see opportunities to connect with children. And I'm especially enthusiastic when I can accompany them through hard times and help them find a smile on a difficult day and let them know they're never alone.
Thank you. What a beautiful gift to give the world, and especially children.
Judith?
Is that me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I've only been to Paris twice, and they were both really wonderful trips. And I have a scarf that I got the second time I was there when I was at the Louvre. And I never wear that scarf, but I always think I'm going to. But I love having it because it reminds me of those two trips.
It's wonderful when we have something that reminds us of a really amazing time, and it does make us feel enthusiastic. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Rachel, I saw your hand pop up. Did you want to speak into the room?
Sure. I was waffling. Hand up, hand down, hand up, hand down.
Were you enthusiastic while you were waffling?
I was thinking about the word enthusiasm, and I was thinking about recently somebody was talking about the word happiness. And I realized that the words happiness and gratitude and all of these words for me fall into the same bucket, which is gratitude. Everything falls into the bucket of gratitude. And I'm super grateful that during the pandemic, I was able to give birth. I gave birth to my baby, to my book, and I was able to publish my book and get it out in the world, and it's helping people, and I know that it's making a difference, and I have a lot of enthusiasm because my spiritual center up in Anchorage has just decided to do a 5-week book study. Yay, there's my book. And so I have a lot of enthusiasm for this book and what it can do in the world and how it can help people, and gratitude for that. Thanks you. Thanks is a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that your book is going to really help people find themselves and find their enthusiasm, to really respect themselves and find their enthusiasm.
Allison, you're next.
I felt pretty enthusiastic on Wednesday when I went in the middle of the day to Brooklyn Museum here in New York City and to the Christian Dior exhibit. And it reminded me of parts of who I have always been. It was a beautiful exhibit. I highly recommend anyone who's in this physical location to go. But when I got to the fashion photography site, an area, I recognized Richard Avedon. I cried at Irving Penn, and it reminded me of this shoot with Marilyn Monroe. It's classic 1962 by Bert Stein, The Last Shoot. And this book I got at an old bookstore in Martha's Vineyard when I was maybe 10 or 11, and for some reason have always had an attraction and an eye for fashion and photography. So a reminder of who you are. I guess that's what that goes down to. And that's inspiring, to be reminded of what's always been inside you. Thank you.
Thank you. I totally agree that getting us in the zone, that's enthusiasm. And that it was started at such a young age for you and then reignited when you went to the Dior. That must have been a really wonderful experience.
And Brian?
Love the beard.
Well, thank you. This is Amaryllis, and When Lynn started her segment, I got her and put her on my lap. So I thought that would help me meditate. And then after the 3 minutes were over, I let go. And did she jump down? No, she stayed on my lap the entire time. She doesn't want to go anywhere. She can't do anything but make you enthusiastic, no matter what sort of day I'm having. She's always here. She's the most loving thing in the world that I always look forward to in my apartment.
Thank you for sharing. I miss having a cat so much. So when people show their cats and they have enthusiasm for them, it really touches my heart. She's a beauty. Thanks for sharing.
Hello. Oh, thank you for this. And thank you for that wonderful video of the young boy orchestrating. What fun, what enthusiasm. But I've recently moved and I'm in a new space and I'm enthusiastic about creating my own imprint on a new space. And I'm also excited for spring, even though it's January, because I just love planting lettuce and peas and begonias and everything and watching it come up. But the other thing I'm really enthusiastic is at this point in my life, I have time to write. I have time to do what I really want to do. And one of the things I'm doing is taking a poetry course with One Spirit. And I wrote a poem and I'm just gonna, it's an enthusiastic poem, so I'm just gonna read it, if that's okay. Oh, to sing, not like a nightingale, just sing, without restraint, without regret, to let it blow and roar and whisper and vibrate through the room and my heart. I love you, baby, and if it's quite all right, I forget the rest. It's the joy I remember. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Is that right? I saw the play and sang the song with hundreds and hundreds of lovers. I chose this song to sing at a natural singers workshop in New York City. I was the last to present. I practiced and practiced, but was told, relax, relax, when at last the words came out. To sing and not judge, to enjoy a universal human delight without censure. What a gift, what a joy, what freedom. If only I let it happen. I love you, baby. You, me, life, love, and all that sings in our hearts. I love you, baby. Sing with me, sing with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see, I could feel, I can experience your enthusiasm from your poem. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Next is Molly.
Hi, so I thought about a bunch of different things, but what I want to share this evening is that I lead the Thursday morning meditations for One Spirit. And for those of you who were in the room this morning, in 1 second, you will recognize this. I did a meditation that involved these two fellas. I'm just looking, there they are. And you may have to click on the speaker in order to see this because it comes up as kind of a small picture. And here it comes. So this is His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and Desmond Tutu. And Archbishop Desmond Tutu is teaching the Dalai Lama how to dance in Dharamsala. This is a photo that's made the rounds many, many times, and it's actually part of a video. They were in Dharamsala for 5 days together, and just to celebrate the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday. And what also came out of it is a book, the Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World. And so part of the meditation sort of originated from this dance and involved a Hafiz piece of poetry. But I just love these guys together, and they're really hilarious and fun, and it's worth clicking on the video to watch Archbishop Tutu be so enthusiastic and into this and grab the Dalai Lama's hands and try to get him dancing. It was so lovely and enthusiastic. So check out the video, but the photo captures it nicely. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly, for reminding us of their humanity and their enthusiasm.
And Debbie, you'll finish us up here.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'll make it as brief as I can. So this is one source of my enthusiasm, my fur baby Mikey. I'm also in the poetry class, the One Spirit poetry class, another joy and a source of my enthusiasm. It's a wonderful, wonderful cause. So I am on a mission. I don't even want to say New Year's resolution. I'm not going to say yet, but I am on literally a mission for the year 2022 to unclutter my life, my stuff, whatever. I will be moving. I'm very enthusiastic about this move to Red Hook, New York, which is upstate New York, to a home with a big emphasis on community there. So I'm just so thrilled. So just a little while ago, before our gathering, I stuffed a shopping cart and I head on over to the Housing Works, and I just donated a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm enthusiastic about continuing and going over there as much as I can and just really just decluttering. So I hope I can maintain that enthusiasm and keep up that steam, because it is challenging for me. I get really enthusiastic and then I kind of lose steam. So, but I am determined. So.
Sounds like it's exactly what Josh was talking about, those 3 stages of enthusiasm, that you're looking forward to it, then you're in the weeds and it feels a little...
Tell me about it.
And then it's finished and you could tell everyone that you did it.
Please.
Good luck. Good luck. So I want to add one thing that I'm enthusiastic about, that I was able to share those visuals with the quotes. All of those pictures are pictures, except the ones of Barack, and there was one other that I didn't take, but I took those pictures, and they're of my grandchildren and my daughter. So I'm really enthusiastic that I got to share my love, which is photography and manipulating things on the computer. And now I am going to turn it over to my dear, dear friend for so many years, Josh.
Thank you, Goddess Susie. First, a little housekeeping based on reading the chats. Okay, forgive me for not spelling the words that I talked about. So I'm going to start with Musar, M-U-S-S-A-R. I'll do it again, M-U-S-S-A-R. You can Google it till the cows come home. It's just everywhere. Next one, Minion. That's the group of 10 people. M-I-N-Y-A-N. Again, M-I-N-Y-A-N. And the last one is Tu Bishvat. Okay, that's the holiday. Okay. Oh, and my sister Jill reminds me, okay, I am actually wearing a Tu Bishvat hat. Now, I'm not sure that you can, my cap, excuse me. I'm not sure that you can see the spelling up there, so I'm going to say it, but I'll have to lift my head to do that. T-U, next word, B-I-S-H-V-A-T. Okay, so it's 2 words. T-U, Bishvat, B-I-S-H-V-A-T. And 2 means 15, and Shavat is the name of the month. So basically it's saying the 15th of the month of Shavat. And that's when this holiday appears every year on the Jewish calendar. It gets moved around on the I forget what you call that other calendar, the regular calendar. What's that? Anyway, you all know what the regular calendar. Okay. Anyway, while preparing this, I came up with something I'm going to call 8 enthusiasm pointers, because there were things that I kept dropping into, things I stumbled over, things that I thought, oh, okay, well, I better share these. So it's kind of full disclosure, some more than others. Number 1, don't save your enthusiasm for special times. You have an endless supply of enthusiasm. Don't worry about running out. You won't run out of it. Number 2, sometimes enthusiasm is quiet and gentle. Now, this was a hard one for me because I assume that enthusiasm comes with 76 trombones and is really jolly and big. But sometimes it's a quiet thing, and sometimes it's just a small pleasure. And don't worry about if it's quiet and gentle, so be it. That's enthusiasm too. 3, don't grade your level of enthusiasm. If you are sick in bed and the highest level of enthusiasm you can garner is to turn on the TV and watch a rerun of I Love Lucy and eat saltines, well, that's just fine. That's your level of enthusiasm in that particular moment. It's the same blessing. It doesn't have to be big and loud. It can be whatever you need in that moment. Number 4, notice when you do something and lose all sense of time. If you're losing sense of time, you are probably doing something that you're enthusiastic about. Number 5, you don't have to be good at something to be enthusiastic about it. Okay, like if singing gives you pleasure, that's fine. We did not judge little 3-year-old Jonathan based on a standard created by Leonard Bernstein. You know, he was having a good time, and we luckily had a good time watching him because his family had the good sense to videotape it. But it's not the quality of what you do, even if you do it badly. If you do it with enthusiasm, that's great. Number 6, watch out for rashness and frantic busyness, because sometimes that looks like enthusiasm, but it really isn't. Number 7, this was the hardest one for me. There is no need to be an enthusiasm cheerleader. Work on yourself. It's not about getting converts. Okay, I thought, well, how do I know if I succeeded doing this today unless you're all really enthusiastic? But I'm letting go of that. Well, I'm trying to let go of that. And number 8, which is the final one, just do it enthusiastically. Now, I would like to send a special thank you to our Zoom moderator, Jack Brachetti. Hey, Jack, how you doing? There's Jack up there. I hope you can see him on your screen. And to end our gathering, I would like to turn it over again to our ailing but totally fabulous Reverend Lynn Manuel.
Hello, everybody. So if you want to know if this works, as Susie mentioned, I've just come out of quarantine. And when I came out of quarantine, I was kind of disoriented, and I fell ironically, given what we're doing, I fell over a tree and and broke my elbow. And my car also needed to be fixed. So I have been using this. This has been amazing to be doing because it really shows what enthusiasm can bring to your life. As my final gift to you, we've been talking about music. Music is my life. I am going to share an enthusiastic song. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come, hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. Goods permitting, some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret. I used to have this girlfriend known as Elsie, with whom I shared 4 sordid rooms in Chelsea. She wasn't what you'd call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rented by the hour. The day she died, the neighbors came to snicker. Well, that's what comes from too much bills and liquor. But when I saw her laid off like a queen, she was the happiest corpse I'd ever seen. I think of Elsie to this very day. I remember how she turned to me and say, what good is sitting alone in your room? Come, hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. And as for me, I made my mind up back in Chelsea. When I go, going like Elsie, start by admitting from cradle to tomb, it isn't that long a stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum. It's only a cabaret, old chum. And I love a cabaret. Thank you guys so much.
Bravo. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Josh. I think we
Thank
can all
you, everyone, for joining us. Much love.
much love. Unmute and say hi and bye. And thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Brava, brava.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.